This time on Custom Works, we're going to try and make everything chrome. Such a lovely, lovely day. Let's get to the workshop. So this time on Custom Works, we're going to try and make Fibreglass shine like chrome. Like the mythical skill of alchemy, we're going to try and turn like base resins and that matte stuff into chrome. So let's get to the workshop. Let's see how we do this. Okay, so the grill on the Meat Wagon. I'm in the UK, so it's not like there's scrapyards full of old American cars around here, and a big tooth grill is something I wasn't about to find just knocking about. So we made one, and if you remember back, we first carved it in plaster and polystyrene, and then we filled over that, and then we sprayed it so it was shiny, took a mould off that, and we moulded all of these grill teeth. And this is the grill of the Meat Wagon. And what we're going to do now is try and make this look like it's sort of a polished chrome finish. Now we're not going to get chrome because, I'll be honest, I don't know how to do that hydrochrome thing where it's all water and different layers and stuff. I've tried, I've never made it work. But this system of making things look like polished aluminium, if you want to see a lot of it, if you look for any of the pictures online of my car, Automatron is just covered in this. The whole chassis, a lot of the engine, the gearbox, all the axles, everything is done in this. And it gives a real good show car finish. And it's not quite as glitzy as chrome, but I don't know, I kind of like that polished aluminium look. It's sort of a higher quality, I don't know. I like it though, anyway. But first off, how this works. So like I say, there's a few ways of doing this sort of chrome, but this sort of chrome, where you go over the black, I've done it a load of times, so I'm almost qualified to talk about it. So let's see how this works. So then, first up, you've got to have your thing prepped, and ta-da! Here we go. This is quite well prepped. There's a few little dings and dinks in it, and just here, it's hard to see, but here, you know, there's a small imperfection there of where, I know there's a pinhole in the filler or anything. But you know what, on this project, I don't mind that. Little bit of pitting, little bit of maybe a dodgy casting, and these are they're gonna be chrome, but with a bit of rust as well. So I'm not that bothered, because I'm trying to get that age look, so a few dings don't matter. But suffice to say, the smoother and shinier you can get that black, the better the silver goes on. The reflection that you get off the black will be the same reflection you get off the silver. And the silver will never make it brighter, never make it shinier. It just sends the shine of black to shiny silver. That's it. So as good as this bit is as good as it's ever going to get. It's never, the other paint's not going to make it better, but I think that's true of all painting. Now, I could cut and polish these and get them even more glass-like, but I've never done that because, well, I've never wanted anything that perfect. But also, I'm worried that the adhesion between the paint and the silver is not going to be as good. It's not the most hard-wearing surface ever anyway when it's done. I always worry about that. But going from this, you get a pretty good sort of finish. So then, the black paint. Now, you can't just get any old black paint like slap it on. Never going to work. So the way I did these, once I got them prepped and primed, I went over in black, 2K, high gloss. You've got to leave it for at least a week. This has got to be totally dry. So that means no sort of solvent still in the paint. That's all got to be gone. Or else that solvent comes out and it will turn the silver just to grey, or it will just look like silver out of a rattle can. It won't look no good. You've got to leave it. So 2K, leave it for a week. And you can go either way about this. If you want to just rattle can these satin black and then go over in some 2K clear, that'll work as well, just as long as it's like a mild deep gloss black finish, and it'll always be alright. So that's the black. Now let's get some silver. So there's loads of chroming systems and way to chrome fiberglass. There are projects coming up where, you know, particularly on the SS Mercedes, which is just a chassis behind me at the minute, but there's parts on that I'm going to send off to be the Spectrochrome system, because that really is like chrome. This is like well polished aluminium. And the stuff I'm going to use is this Chromium Extreme from Custom Creation Paints, who I think might have changed their name recently, which is going to be a bit of a pain. I've always found this stuff just to be easy, just easy to use. The world of chrome paints is like almost infinite and complicated. I've tried up to now the hydrochrome one, where it seems like you're just spraying water on it, it puts like silver particles on. Now that stuff looks amazing. If I could get that to work, I'd do that because it just looks so good. I have tried, it cost a lot of money, and I just couldn't get it to work, it failed. I got a sort of chrome, but not really what I wanted. I also tried the stuff that you paint on, and it's like a clear liquid, and you go over that with a flame. Now that is really easy, and that literally is chrome. But it's only chrome on the first day, and then it starts to yellow over time, and there's no amount of like 2K, in 2K with a UV block. Still the UV gets in, that just yellows off. It goes quite a nice shade of gold, and it stays reflective, but it's not right, you know, it's just not right. You want chrome, you want it to stay chrome. So whereas this, like I say, it's not the best chrome effect, but it's the one where I'm doing the job will be done at the end of the day, because I know it will work, and don't take my word for it, I'm going to show you how to do it right now. So, got my gun here, I've cleaned out the inside good, I've given it a wipe around. This stuff doesn't like thinners or anything like that, that's all a bit too sort of, I know, aggressive, it just like sent it grey. I'm going to use the gun, I'm going to wind the paint feed in. Like apparently this stuff you don't have to do it anymore, but the older stuff you always used to have to do this. So I've got all air and no paint. You don't need much of this stuff. When you buy it you think, my God, that stuff's expensive, but then over time you see how much you actually use. You've not got to mix this stuff, there's no hardness, so you know, as long as it's clean you can put it back. So I usually just use a bit at a time and dust it over the black. Now, for filming purposes today, we're not in that horrible little room where I mix paint, because it's horrible in there. So I'm out here, so it all might seem a bit cack-handy. But first, shake it, get all them bits of chrome floating. And then to do that grill, I know I'm going to pour like that much in. And you know what, if you've not got enough in there, you can always go and just add a bit more. It's not like you'll get a tide, you know, or joining mark in the paint. Oh, there we go. And then to spray this, you want lots of air and not much paint. Okay, so just before I painted this, it's been in next door in the other room there, where I don't actually work, I just store stuff. So I've got a little bit dusty, so I've tap ragged it off, but now I'm ready to go on. Another thing here, heat really seems to make a difference. So I've got 2 fan heaters here. I know they're not the best things, they're probably just blowing dust around. But like I say, it's just for a rat rod, so we don't have to be too super serious on this. Also, I'm going to show you this bit without my mask on, but normally I would be wearing a mask. And I'm only going to do a little bit, and like I say, it's more air than paint that's going to come out the gun, so I should be okay. But for the rest of it, I will be wearing a mask. So let's have a look. Right, so as you can see, it's got a good amount of reflection in there. Let's make that silver. silvering on. We've got the heat on it. I've left it for about half an hour. And now I'm going over with the sealer coat. And I've got to be honest, it's not the sealer coat I normally use. It's a different stuff. And this has all got a little bit awry. But anyway, I'll put the sealer coat on and then we'll be ready to go over some 2K and we can see how shiny this is. But I've got to say, it's not looking that good at the minute. The chrome grille then. So the clear coat goes on. I'm not particularly happy with it. It's not as chromy as it should be. But I've put it up on the car because it's come out really nice. It's just not quite what I wanted. I'm not sure. Like I go on a lot about the black's got to be dry. I don't think the black is dried. I'd left it for just over a week. But I've got to say, it's been cold here, really cold. I did it when the sun was out a couple of weeks ago. We had like a 1-day summer and I think I got all excited, thought I'll do it, it'll be warm enough. But I just don't think that black had fully cured through. And when I put some of the silver on, you can barely see it on it, but a couple of bits of the black pickled up, sort of wrinkled in a chemical reaction. I've never seen that before. So I'm thinking the black wasn't quite dry enough. But anyway, I'm never put off. I'm going to do the bumper as well. But this time, I'm going to paint the bumper in, I'm going to do a clear coat over a satin black. And then I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it for like 2 weeks and then I'm going to machine polish it and then go on with the chrome. Because I've done a test with the chrome paint. Anyway, let's take a look at it. Now it's actually on the Meat Wagon. This is how it turned out. And, you know, it does look pretty good. And it is going to have some rust effect over it. So I'm not, you know, I'm not mega bothered. But I know I can get it better than this. So this chrome your own sort of episode is, well, I think it's done more to highlight the pitfalls of trying to get this chrome effect to work at home than anything else. But I am going to do this bumper, and the bumper is going to be better. And, you know, you just got to live and learn. So, the grill. I'm going to do some, like, forensic stuff now of why it didn't work. So, like I say, when I sprayed the silver and stuff on, I noticed the black pickled a bit. And that would indicate to me that the paint wasn't dry. Like I said, I had left it for more than a week. So, was that the problem or wasn't it? Well, right here, I have the exact chroming solution I used in the exact bottle. And even the drips on this, some of them look more chromy than the grill. So now we need something black and shiny that we know is dry. So I'm going to use this aerosol can, because this is nice and black and shiny, and we know that paint is dry. Give it a... And then let's try a bit of this. Okay then, so heat is on, so everything's going to dry nice and quickly. We have a nice shiny surface here. So just with a brush, I'm not even going to spray it. No, that's quite a lot on there. Probably more than I wanted to put on. Now you can see, this stuff dries really quick, and already we can see some drying coming up from the heater there. I'll move the heater a little bit closer. And I realise I'm putting an aerosol can in front of an electric heater, but I'm sure it'll be okay. Now, another thing I've seen is that if you rub it, it's meant to go more chromy, so I'm just going to try and give this a... So, here we go. You can see some reflection in there. I don't know if you can make that out, but it's probably not the paint here. I'm thinking it was just that black wasn't dry. So, I'm going to flat that bumper down, I'm going to re-2K it, I'm going to leave it for a couple of weeks and then we'll see how this comes out, because I've got it right a lot of times before. Like I say, Automatron is covered in this stuff. The whole chassis, running gear, engine, gearbox, everything has got some of this on. And similarly, Cosmotron also had a lot of this stuff on it. So I have made it work. Maybe it was just sunnier days, you know, more clement weather. I don't know. But I'm going to get to the bottom of it and I will make it work. See, now this is definitely very close to being chrome. You can see my manky hands there reflected in it. But it does work. I've just got to get my base better. Okay then, so the only way to get a perfect glossy finish here is by sanding it. So I'm going to hit this with some 1000 grit, wet and dry, and then I'll see if it's super smooth, and if it is, we'll go over with some 2K clear coat and leave that. I'm going to leave it for a fortnight, and then we can try and chrome this. So what I'm going to do is give it a last wipe down, make sure there's no dust on here, and then I'm going to go over this with some 2K clear again, and hopefully this time I'm going to go really dry. I'm not going to try and make it shine, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten machine polish this so I get that super, super high gloss to it. Final wipe down, let's get the gun, get some 2K on, get some shine back on this bumper. Bumper is now clear coated. I flattened it all back. The black underneath is all right. I broke through in a couple of places, so I just put that in with some rattle can. Obviously there's a lot of bits in it because technically it's actually outdoors at the minute. But now that's on, I'm going to leave it for a couple of weeks and then try the chrome thing again. With this as well, I'm going to flat and polish this so it is just like the side of that aerosol can. Super smooth, super black, really shiny, so I get the best chrome effect I can possibly get. What I've done is about 3 or 4 super dry coats, really orange peely, really dry, just so that the solvent can't instantly attack the paint. It goes on, it dries off, it can't quite get its act together before it pickles it. I did 4 coats of that, let that dry a bit, you know, give it sort of like 15 minutes, and then I've gone over it in 2 really wet coats, and that's it, I've got a good shine. So once I flat this down with like probably 1500, 2000 grit, and then work through, machine polish it, I should get a really, really good finish, and let's hope it's got a bit more sparkle than that grill. So that's about all for this week. Some highs, some lows, some wins, some fails. I'm building cars in my back garden. Not everything's going to go right, and it probably won't always go right for you. This is how things go. This is building a great custom car. Hopefully we're going to get a bumper to shine. Hopefully we're going to get all the bits on both cars, because I've got quite a lot of this chroming to do. That everything is gleaming and looking great. And that is it for this week. So don't forget, click, subscribe, press a bell icon, leave a comment down below. You can buy a t-shirt, you can get stickers. There's a whole array of quality items that you can buy from our Etsy store. And I think that's it. Thank you very much and good night.